Moving on to our next speaker, Professor Dagan Savic, the CEO of KWR Water. KWR Water is a knowledge enterprise with the strength in translating scientific knowledge about water into applicable practical solutions for end users. They're also a collaborating center of the WHO, the World Health Organization. Clean water is of course key and vital for the cleaning and hygiene industry. Professor Savic will start his presentation with a video about the winning project of the latest EU versus Corona hackathon. Let's roll the video, and after that, the floor is all yours.
The COVID-19 pandemic requires informed decisions to be made by emergency response and recovery decision makers in a timely and cost-effective manner in all phases of the crisis cycle. Scientists agree that widespread testing of the population is needed to map the extent of the contagion and isolate the infected. However, tests are expensive and hard to find during the crisis. So what do we do to find out how many people are sick or infected? Microbiologists at KWR conducted RNA analysis at municipal wastewater treatment plants in the Netherlands and showed the presence of RNA gene fragments of the virus in sewage. Sewer sampling can be done on a daily basis, which is faster and cheaper than person testing. Sewers for COVID explores how to exploit this rapid DNA sequencing technology to be able to predict COVID evolution and improve pandemic management by integrating and analyzing all supportive information for the evaluation of mitigation measures. Sewers for COVID will apply machine learning to find a correlation between the abundance of the virus in wastewater and the hotspots of outbreaks. The result will be estimations of the present and future numbers of infected people in each community or geographical area, making Sewers for COVID a powerful early warning system. We will detect the virus in sewage even before people start feeling sick. Several data sources are integrated and harmonized to run our advanced data analytics. Databases will be used to monitor affected neighborhoods, the elderly or vulnerable groups, health workers, hospital triage, and much more. A proof of concept is delivered on a countrywide scale for the Netherlands that can be easily scaled up to be deployed in other countries. The online prototype shows on the left an interactive map of all the Dutch municipalities with various concentrations of the virus in sewer water. On the right, we see the graph of the selected municipality and forecasted number of fatalities with and without the tool being used to select a mix of mitigation measures. Sewers for COVID will evolve to a powerful pandemic decision support system that provides predictive management for optimal mitigation measures, prioritizes resource allocation, and prevents future episodes of infection at a large scale. Sewers for COVID reflects the cooperation of a European team from the Netherlands, Greece, UK, and Spain, driven by enthusiasm and the conviction that together we will be better prepared to achieve a brighter future. Diving into sewers for data saves lives during pandemics.
Hello, everyone. As Robert introduced, I come from KWR, which is a water research institute, and this video is part of that winning pitch for a hackathon that was held under the auspices of European Commission. So what is so important, or what is so significant about sewage surveillance? Basically, over 10 years, sewage surveillance or epidemiology has developed into a very mature field. The wastewater epidemiology collects data on human consumption and use of substances by conducting chemical analysis of the residues or transformation products of the substances in the wastewater. So it could be used for forensic kind of reasons to find out what has happened, for public health, or even anti-doping applications. That's how it all started, looking into illicit drugs in sewers. And that's being done by looking into biomarkers, which are substances that, following the consumption of that substance, are excreted by people and end up in wastewater. So that's here on the left-hand side. And then the research is when we take those samples that can be continuously taken, to do analysis in the labs with very modern technology, and it's called RT-qPCR, which is a quantitative methodology, genetic material, looking at 4 genetic markers. And now we use that methodology actually to trace SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus that causes the illness, COVID-19, in order to be able to give us an early warning or early indication of the onset of illness. For example, we at KWR were doing this sampling before coronavirus, and it was fortuitous that we could then redo the samples for tracing corona, and we found out that we detected them 3 weeks in the sewers before first health professionals have reported or first people were diagnosed with the illness. There is still quite a lot of research required to move this forward to be much more efficient and effective methodology. For example, we are still looking into how can we assess the concentration, because we can find the traces of the virus. By the way, the key thing here is that the traces of the virus that were found are not active, so they're not infectious anymore, which is great. And also, even if there were, the wastewater treatment would have neutralized the viruses. So these are all good news that water supplies are safe in that case. And then we would like to link, which we haven't done yet, the sewage epidemiology or wastewater epidemiology with what is happening in the population. So with the public health data, so that we can have a better idea where the hotspots are, where are more people infected, or where we are expecting to be more, because as I said, you can detect this few weeks before the real symptoms appear in the population. And this, you have seen it in the video. This shows that we developed a prototype over 48 hours. It was grueling work, day and night, to look into how widespread and regular wastewater testing can help us develop a better idea where the hotspots are, who are the vulnerable people, how can we better devote or move resources to the areas that they're required more. So we can monitor virus circulation in the community, combine the sewer data with the health professional data, and improve resource allocation, effectiveness of response planning, and even predict these outbreaks. But the bottom line, the idea is to support public health. And what we are doing at this moment is that we are partnering with a number of organizations across the world. And I can tell you there was interest from all over the world, from Tasmania, Australia, to North America, to implement this sewage surveillance. again, we're not the only one who are doing the testing of the sewers, but the thing is, everybody is doing it a little bit differently. So we're working, for example, with WRF, which is Water Research Foundation, GWRC, Global Water Research Coalition, to come up with a protocol that everybody will do it in a similar way, so that we can harmonize this sampling and analysis protocol, and that we can share the data that is compatible. And also we're looking into attracting interests from governments, because this is going to help them in making better informed decisions. And also with some other foundations, for example, like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So that's basically it, what I have to show you. It's an interesting technology. It's been around for about 10 years for different purposes, but we are now at a kind of point where we could actually use it to help improve health in the population and a reaction to epidemics or pandemics like this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Dagan. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we won't be able to do an extensive Q&A. So I think I'll just give a quick follow-up question to your last comment about that we're now at a point where we can use this technology for future pandemics. Was this something that was overlooked in the past, you think? And if it wasn't overlooked, would it have helped stop the spread of this pandemic in this case, you think?
Well, in the Netherlands, we were testing 4 locations for various different reasons, as I said, and then we retested it for COVID. If we had that information for all the municipalities, I think there would have been a much better data set to help decision makers decide earlier, maybe to introduce social distancing measures and a few others.
And also do it more geographically. Which regions need to have more social distancing, and which not? Where can restrictions be loosened earlier and where not?
Yes, we had quite a badly affected area in the Netherlands, south of the country, and if that was detected 2 weeks before the first people came up to the doctors, it would have been a different picture.
Yeah, and then a final question: when you look at facilities that are dealing with COVID-19 right now, for example, hospitals, do you see any specific activities undertaken there to do extra cleaning in the wastewater, extra? Well, I can't find the right word in English, but extra measures being taken to clean this wastewater?
Wastewater is being cleaned with a very efficient technology, and hospitals and some industrial sites have their own pre-treatment facilities. So you know, whatever comes out of those facilities, they have to dispose of chemical waste in a very different way than normal sewage systems. So in sewers, there are no changes per se, but obviously treating chemical waste is something that they've been doing for a long time. The key here is that hospitals can do limited number of tests, and we know that the numbers are hugely underestimated because we're not doing many tests, and that's throughout the globe. So through the sewers, you can get this global picture without individuals being tested.
I think that's a great takeaway to end this webinar with. Thank you very much for your time, and of course, thank you to all our attendees from all over the world joining us.